Like I said, we have a lot of different topics to talk about tonight. The first one that I want to do is a Prime One Studio fan Q&A. So recently, Prime One Studio, they came out with this deal where they were going to do a Q&A and they were going to answer it during the live reaction show. Well, that never actually happened. But they did come out and basically they took a whole bunch of questions, and I thought maybe we can kind of comb through them. I've got them here on my phone. I apologize. I'm going to read them off my phone here. But anyway, I thought, this would answer some questions in the community if you didn't see it. So the first question is, will you do other monster characters such as William, Tyrant, and Mr. X from Resident Evil series? And Mr. J, who is their creative director, their answer was there's more of a plan for the Resident Evil series. So if you're a Resident Evil fan, they are going to do more pieces. The second question was, will you guys be doing any more Batman Rogues in 1/3, particularly Riddler Please comic version? And Mr. J specifically said, we would love to make Riddler, but really depends on the success for the Penguin statue.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you guys make of that? Like, do you feel like that's going to be kind of their new model, is just kind of wait and see? I mean, again, we thought that they would capitalize on Riddler like no brainer because of the Batman film. But hearing them say, if Penguin does well, or do you think that is just a marketing strategy for them to say, hey, we really want you to buy Penguin? What do you guys think?
Sounds like a threat to me.
Kind of feels that way. What about the rest of you guys?
I think they've run their business model like that for a while now with pre-orders.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't see an edition size for months on end
or years
even. And then I'll go back to Arkham Ivy. They canceled her saying they didn't get enough orders. And now they're done with the line. So,
I mean, I really do think that this Penguin will sell well. I think there's been a lot of excitement surrounding it. I feel like it was one of the best in show, at least kind of like listening to feedback from it. And I don't know how many people will buy just the Penguin. Like me, I'm going to buy the Penguin and the Batman because I think they look great together, even though I might pair them differently. I don't know. But I don't know. It is a little disappointing to say, well, I mean, it almost makes it seem like they have more faith in Penguin than Riddler, even though people have been asking for Riddler, I think, even more than Penguin. I don't know.
Well, it was smart to get Fabok involved in that project because I think like reaching out to like these, high-end artists will help the sales as well. And I think if they're smart, if they do a Riddler, like a popular Riddler, maybe like from the Hush storyline, it would be a good shot. Just not some random type Riddler character. Or something.
And also, I think we talked about on the show that other night that it's like it felt like they didn't have very much faith in the Penguin by himself. That they felt the need to add that Batman to kind of help sell it.
But they are offering him, right, individually.
As far as I know, yes, because it's two separate bases.
I wonder what they consider a success as far as numbers.
I don't know because a lot of the ESs have been really tiny. Prime 1 and XM.
Well, even Sideshow, I think that the ladies from Sideshow, actually not even just the ladies, the rogues from Sideshow have been pretty low ESs for them.
Which is, again, are you surprised?
Yeah. I mean, if you've got an exclusive of only 500 for some of those pieces, that seems very low.
Yeah.
I mean, Captain America we were talking about is pretty low count too.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. I think it's like 3,500 or something like that.
Which seems small for them.
But the Black Widow is only 600. That's tiny. That's not just the exclusive. There is no exclusive for that piece. There's 600 Black Widows and that's it.
I'm sure it's not just individual statues as well. I'm sure they look at everything as like an entire business model to where like they'll do the more popular characters like Batman and sell a lot of those to make up some profit for the lesser known B characters when those don't sell as well. So I think it's like a combination. It's got to be a combination of everything. I would think so. Well, so anyway, that's the topic about the Riddler. So I guess we'll kind of wait and see. Again, I kind of really thought we would get at least some sort of confirmation about a Riddler
movie Riddler at least.
Is the Suicide Squad, is that one of these questions?
Yes, yeah, I'll get to that here in a second. Yeah. The next question was, any chance for a 1/4 scale Green Lantern or its license issues, or is there license issues? And Jay answered, there is a possibility. So again, I don't know exactly how they are able to do the 1/4 scale thing, because again, I mean, they do work with Sideshow, so I don't know if they're using Sideshow's license for that sort of thing, but obviously they have announced multiple pieces in 1/4 scale, whether it's the Batman on Throne, which was the Gabriel Del Otto, the Batman versus Clayface, and then of course, possibility of a Green Lantern or other characters.
Wasn't that the 0 year bike on Batman on bike? That was like,
they never
said anything.
What scale it was? They never ever said. And maybe that's how they get away with it. I don't know, but I don't know. Are you surprised by them doing more 1/4 scale, or do you think it's just a thing they have through Sideshow?
I mean, I'm okay with that.
1/4 scale so far recently been dioramas.
Yes. Well, and the Batman versus Batman Who Laughs. That's another 1/4
Makes me
scale.
wonder if the Green Lantern could be a diorama then.
Possibly. Maybe that's the deal, is that, I mean, because even the Gabriel Del Otto on Throne was going to be him with Alfred, you remember?
Right.
So that would be maybe a diorama or a Batcave diorama scene. That's a good point. Maybe that's how they were able to justify they're not doing individual characters, maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So this one is okay. So again, will there be more Zack Snyder's Justice League statues? Maybe Martian Manhunter or my favorite Deathstroke. And Jay said that there are more coming, which I was a little surprised, because obviously they've done all the heroes. At this point, that film is fairly old at this point. It's been around for a while. They even had the cut, but it had the Dark Side, it had the Steppenwolf, and now obviously they're saying that more are coming. So any in particular you guys would want to see from them? I think it would be cool to have that Deathstroke, even though we only basically saw him in an in credit, basically.
They never did a Jared Leto Joker, right? Prime one.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they did,
Prime one did that? Okay.
Suicide Squad Joker.
Okay.
I had it for a short time.
Code.
Yeah, the one in the coat. Yeah.
Oh, the coat one. Yeah, but not from the Justice League though, right?
No, Suicide Squad. So the only one that's done that one is Weta.
I'm confused. No, I'm thinking of
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Justice League.
It kind of makes me wonder in a way, and you think, I can't remember the actor's name who played the Deathstroke.
Joe Malagalato, or what? I can't think of his name.
He changed one of his
Joe.
social media pictures to Deathstroke a couple of weeks back. So almost kind of makes me wonder if Prime One maybe knows something, where they're saying there'll be more, if maybe we'll actually get another take on the Justice League.
And there you go. Joe is being coy about more Deathstroke stuff coming on his D&D stream.
Yeah.
And again, like, Warner Brothers is under new ownership. And it sounds like they kind of like a lot of the stuff that they've built, although I've heard conflicting things that say if it doesn't align with their current universe or their current Batman universe, it's all going to be started over. So I know that there's a lot of changes afoot. They canceled a whole bunch of shows recently. So it's, it is what it is, but it would be cool to see more on HBO Max and to see a Deathstroke. And so I think I think it'd be neat if they made him, and let people finish out that line. Lord knows with my Arkham line, I wanted them to make more characters. So I am a little surprised they're doing more, but they are. This question is, will there be an Escandor from Seven Sins anime? I have no idea what that is, so I apologize. And Jay says there's no plans for that, or no plans yet. Does Prime One still have the Bloodborne license? And if so, are there any further pieces planned? Also, is Grunbeld from Berserk still happening? And Mr. J answered, Bloodborne still happening, looking to show our next piece soon. And Grunbeld is on hold for now, but hopefully we will resume one day. So good news for Bloodborne fans. This next one will probably tick a few people off. even me, I was really excited to see this thing. But when will the Suicide Squad King Shark see the light of day? And of course, they have made 3 pieces. They made the John Cena Peacemaker. They made the was it Bloodstorm, Harley and Bloodstorm. And Jay said the Suicide Squad project are all on hold due to lack of interest from the consumer. So that means you ain't buying.
Yeah.
We ain't making, basically. Which again, King Shark would be a big piece and an expensive piece as well. I do feel like I don't know. I feel like the Harley probably sold more than any of them just because she's Harley, but I don't feel like the likeness was great.
Well, and people didn't want the dress.
People didn't want the dress. They liked the John Cena, but I don't know how many people, now that's kind of come and gone, the Peacemaker thing.
$1,500.
Yeah.
High,
nothing base.
And no swap outs really. So again, I think people are kind of speaking with their wallets there. So, but that's the bad thing is if people don't, then they're not going to make the other characters. So it's.
Did they fix the head sculpt on the Bloodsport?
They did.
Yeah.
They updated it, and I think it looks great. It's not 100%, but it's way, way better than they had it. So,
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
My theory is that when you have superhero groups that have a lot of comedy involved with them, people are less likely to want statues. They want intense superhero action. So like Sideshow dabbled in Guardians of the Galaxy, but never completed it.
They did 2, right?
Yeah, I think they did Gamora and
they never
did the Groot and Rocket.
Yeah,
I don't think those. If it's a comedy, for some reason, I don't think people are as excited about statues as if it's a big old intense, awesome superhero movie.
Sideshow's never done like a Ragnarok Thor or any of those that added the comedy. They never did those versions or that heavier version of Thor.
Well, Breaker of Brimstone is basically, isn't that the first scene from Ragnarok?
It's very similar. Yeah, because
it's not a movie piece though.
No, it's not a movie piece. No, that's true.
That's what I mean. I don't feel like, especially the movie pieces, I don't think that they're willing to go. Although I guess the Guardians wasn't movie pieces, were they? They were comic book versions, right?
Yeah.
Even though that, if you remember that teaser of Star-Lord, it did look like the Star-Lord from the movie. He had both of those guns sticking out. But they just never made him.
So that's just a theory. I could be totally wrong, but I don't know.
That's a good observation.
I say we have a lot more options now, and the prices went up. So I think people are being a little bit more selective as to what they're buying. So
yeah.
If they had done the Harley costume at the very beginning of that movie, the red and the black, that would have sold really well.
I agree. Do you plan on doing more 1/3 Predators, and any chance we can see Dutch? And Jay says current license holder does not allow any more talent likeness, unfortunately. So that means no more Arnold.
How can that be?
Well, at least Prime 1. I know we just saw, we're going to be looking at photos here in a bit of the Darkside Collectible Studio, which again is a company that continues to, boggle the mind of how they're able to get some licenses. So,
and O'Neill's doing it too.
Yeah. So I don't know if maybe just that Prime 1 lost that license or lost the ability to do that. Or they're not willing to pay the price. Maybe that's it. Maybe they're not willing to pay a licensing fee to get the likeness.
Right.
There's so much that goes into that. So, or maybe they just don't feel like other companies are doing it. So, and wasn't there like their last Arnold thing not very well received?
That was the feeling I got. Was that half scale?
Yeah,
I think so. And then they put the jacket up to buy separate.
Yeah.
The real leather jacket.
That put a bad taste in my mouth.
So I think it probably, again, people probably canceled or, they didn't want to deal with it. So I don't know. What other 1/4 Lord of the Ring characters are planned right now? Gandalf or Saruman? And all he said was more coming. So they are going to do more Lord of the Rings. Obviously that line is selling well. So that's a good thing. This one is good for me anyway. It says, since they did 2 Jim Lee Batmans, can you please do another Lee Superman? I've seen a lot of people ask if they would do another Superman, because obviously that one is still, I think, considered the best, 3rd scale Superman out there. So anyway, all he answered was more Jim Lee projects are coming. And with that said, I was able to confirm through Kelvin that they are still doing the Hush Catwoman. So with that said, some people have said, okay, we're going to hold off on the Lee Bermejo Catwoman. So I'm going to kind of wait and see. I still like that Lee Bermejo Catwoman, but I would much rather have a Hush Catwoman, kind of on all fours, pouncing. There's just so many iconic shots of her with Jim Lee. So I guess we'll see. Are there more plans for statues in the Resident Evil line after Jill and Nemesis, which was teased? Also, I know you can buy them separately, but are they made to be connected if you bought both? Jay answered, these are sold separate, but you can combine them into one big diorama. We are working on more projects. So again, if you're a Resident Evil fan, good. Are there any plans to produce a 1/4 scale Farnese and Serpico? I hope I said that right, in the Berserk line. And he said yes. Will there be more cyberpunk products like the Harley Quinn from Artgerm? Love it so much, and I want more in this awesome style. Love all your statues, Prime One. And he said, yes, more are coming from that world. So obviously, I have not seen, and I know Matt has some information. We'll actually talk to him about that whenever we see the photos. But it'll be interesting to see if it's just like a whole line of cyber-y type characters that Artgerm's done. I don't know if he's done other characters, but again, we can get into that here in a bit. When will you show T-Lu 1? Do you have any idea what T-Lu 1 is?
No.
And they responded, that's Naughty Dog decision when we are able to show it. So it must be an in conjunction type thing. I don't know. So this is an interesting one. Oh, well, first of all, I have one more that wasn't on this that was also confirmed. Somebody said, is the Arkham line dead? And they responded, yep. And that's from Kelvin. So he said that's it. So Arkham City, Arkham Harley, that according to them, that'll be it. Now, whether they come back and do some of the other the newer Arkham games when when they're actually finally out here in the fall or whenever, we'll see. But if you're hoping for that Arkham Ivy, it's not looking good. Not looking good. So the last part of this here is, which I thought was interesting. Since Phase 3, I found that Prime 1 doesn't seem to make 1/3 scale battle dioramas anymore. And they're referring to like the Batman versus Joker or the Superman versus Darkseid.
Doomsday.
Thank you very much. Went blank there. The Wonder Woman versus the Hydra, like those big 3rd scale dioramas. Both Batman Tactical Throne and Batman versus Killer Croc are in 1/4 scale, but they did 1/3 scale dioramas before. So I'm curious how Prime 1 defines the product scale in that follow-up. They responded, the problem is about space and material cost keeps raising constantly. Shipping is very high for 1/3 scale dioramas, so we decided to scale it down. Example, Batman Technical Throne in 1/3 scale would be close to 1 meter, which would be very difficult to display. So I could see that two ways. Number one, they don't think that they'll sell them in 3rd scale because of the shipping costs and everything else. Or they're also listening to feedback because we've been talking a lot about the size of the bases are so big and, it takes up space. So, they might be listening to feedback as well. But what do you guys think of that decision? I know I am, a big time 3rd scale collector. So I get, I'm a little disappointed, but what do you guys think? Do you think that's a smart decision for them to make more 1/4 scale when, again, they haven't been able to in the past? Do you think that's a smart decision to scale down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Superman Doomsday, 4 boxes.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Wow.
4 boxes. Imagine the shipping.
I don't want to.
I can't even imagine.
I know.
At the same time, they're making these giant Godzilla and Mega Godzilla huge dioramas that take up an entire table, and there's no problem with that. So.
But I wonder.
But that seems to be about the time they did the Batman Joker and Superman and all of those. So maybe that made their decision for them.
But do you think that being a different, genre or topic from like Batman to Godzilla, that makes a difference in the collector who's buying that probably? Where the Batman collectors or DC for that matter, we're only collecting that stuff, but most of us have run out of space. So you may be able to get one more, but you're probably not buying 3 more.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a great point. Absolutely. I was very disappointed about the Batman Killer Croc because I really want a 3rd scale Killer Croc back. But also I've kind of like tried to make a positive out of a negative, is that if I build my display back up, my Sideshow display, I'm going to put that Batman and Killer Croc in the middle. I mean, that's going to be Batman surrounded by his villains, but he's going to be fighting Killer Croc. And so I think that will still be awesome. And again, the price point, it'll still be expensive, but I mean, it's not going to be $5,000. Well, at least I hope.
Yeah.
Who knows by the time they actually put it up for pre-order? Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, I think that's probably a smart thing. And I would love for them to still, and you never say never. I mean, maybe they'll still do another 3rd scale Freeze or a 3rd scale Croc or a 3rd scale Clayface. But I did think that was smart to be able to, if they were going to do it in 3rd scale, to kind of just give us a torso, to kind of, still give us the character without giving us the full giant thing. So I don't know, maybe they'll do something different in the future. Maybe if shipping costs go down, which I don't think will happen.
If it, I don't know if it might be off topic a little bit, but if XM does that Batman Sanity, would that make you sell your entire quarter scale Rogues?
Well, we're gonna talk about that here in a minute.
Okay.
That's topic 2. So we'll get. I guess we can just move on to that. If you guys have anything else to say about the Prime 1 stuff.
I only had one thing that we were talking about earlier with the Penguin, for example. Do you think any of the movies with popularity has anything to do with the choice of the rogues they're selecting first, since we had Penguin now twice and they've both been mostly very popular movies, pretty much, you could say, where the Riddler movie with Jim Carrey's either loved or hated?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
that influences it all for the people who aren't necessarily reading the comics that might still buy?
I don't know. I feel like there are so many people that have recently seen that Riddler and seen the newer version of the Riddler, and obviously this movie was a big hit. That's why I thought maybe more.
That's true. Yeah,
companies would capitalize.
And you said there's multiple Jim Lee pieces in the works, so maybe they are going to do a Hush Riddler. You never know.
You never know. I mean, and that's the thing, is that I'm glad that they said that they are going to do more pieces, because that means plural. I can see them doing a Riddler before they would do like a Hush, like an actual Hush, or so I don't know. I don't know who else they would do. I know that Mr. J, again, the creative director, his name's Johnny. He is a big Jim Lee fan. He's and so I think he wants to do those pieces. Again, I think they're needing to be smart with what they're putting out to ensure that they're selling. Again, I think they went a little crazy there for a while, doing characters that, like who was Grail. Yeah, thank you, Grail. It's like she was awesome, but I don't think not the general public doesn't know who she is.
Right.
And
that was a Fatbox piece too.
Yeah. And so that's, again, it was a beautiful piece. And if I knew more about her, I'd probably buy her. But I really want those classic rogues, but they're not even willing to give us those in some cases. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see over the next couple years to see what they do. Captain Trenchcoat says they could do a Hush Robin. They absolutely could. So we'll see. I think it'd be neat to see a Hush Harley Quinn, classic Jester. That'd be pretty neat too.
I'm shocked they didn't tackle the Joker, Harley, and the Hush line, seeing how popular the characters are in general.
Yeah. And we are getting the Jim Lee Hush face on the Say Cheese. It's not a perfect match with the suit, but at least we're getting that Jim Lee head sculpt. So I don't know. We'll see what they do. It'll be interesting to see. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.